We generally find out what the farmers are needing in the area or what the interests are. We start demonstrations in it, but we set them up to where they can be actually replicated for research. And so generally we have some professors that come in and they want their students to be able to take these on forward. And at least you have a foundation to start with, I guess. But anyway, this is not our tailored demonstration here. It's on the other side of this field right here, and I'll talk about it in just a few minutes. Because what Marshall and them have up at Somerset, the 100-acre demonstration, we have an 8-acre demonstration that mocks it perfectly here. We have 5 different treatments with enrichment strips in them. We have 2 farmer standards. We have 2 BMP1s and BMP2. So the management practices, and basically those are just 2 species mixes. We're using Kawasaki oats, which is a black-seeded oat, and hairy vetch. And the reason we were doing that is because they were planting corn, and we know that we get some scavenging of nutrients when we take a biomass crop and it starts degrading. So we want to have some nitrogen out there, so we put the hairy vetch out there for it, and we kind of time it. We've got some tests out here where we actually terminating at different times so we can see when the nutrients are being released. So we can time that, so when we're planting, we know that we're going to have nutrients there. We know we're not going to have a lot of fighting between all the biological aspects of breaking down the former residue out there and competing with the crop. So I will tell you this on cotton and corn out here, we do, because if you see the amount of biomass that we got, if you walk right over here, what works here is not going to work exactly like on your farm because you have different soil types, management systems, and everything else. But I will tell you this, if you have one great year, you're going to have 3 that's going to be marginal or good years. Then you're going to have one that's disaster. I thought this year was going to be this disaster. We never got this stuff planted. And, you know, we were waiting and waiting because it was so dry after we harvested that we never going to get anything up. And then after we got it planted, we did get one rainfall on it, and it started coming up, and I said, it's still going to be a disaster. But after we got past Christmas, I said, I think that, you know, it's going to be a lot better than what we thought. For our cotton and our corn and our cotton over there, it's just reverse. We're planting more hairy vetch, and you can see what they look like on the other side over there. And yet, yeah, we're fixing to plant corn. One of the things you're going to find out is that this research station is probably the leader in Louisiana as far as doing cover crop studies. And you're going to find out in a few minutes, Dr. Donnie Miller, wherever he is out here, right there, you're going to find out that there's a lot of things going on out here that's going to be the cutting edge and you're going to be using from now on. Because we're looking at the way we manage these cover crops. You're sitting here saying, hey, we've already planted our corn. Why you got all this stuff still sitting out here? Number one, this is a termination method. So we actually burn down with chemicals. We also use a crimper. But what we found out, you go out here and you try to crimp this stuff too early, especially in front of corn, you're not going to get a kill. So you'll have to go in and spray it anyway. So why you won't do that? So what we're doing is carrying it a little bit further, and we're going to crimp it, and we're going to come in there and plant it and put our what we're going to plant, atrazine and all that on the corn at that time and see how it plays out. What we found out when Dr. Miller and we started looking at all these chemicals and everything as far as burn down, that's one of the major things is managing your cover crops. I hate to see a person that's growing corn go out there in January and start terminating their crop. Because number one, you're not going to have any biomass out there to start with. You may have a few weeds and you're going to have a lot more because what's going to happen is once you terminate and it breaks down, you're going to sit there and just open up what nutrients are released to grow weeds. That's what you're going to do. So what we're trying to do is push it closer to planting date and be able to go out there and terminate it, plant it. And I will tell you this, we've done this for 3 years out here, and where we have gone and planted cover crops and where we terminated 3 different ways, we're still producing. In fact, those plots over there averaged over 225 bushels. So, yeah, that small plot worked. But the thing about it is we can take that on a large scale, do the exact same thing if you manage it.